wherever I've been today, whatever I've looked at, what I've been reading, everybody is putting up Christmas trees, lighting Christmas trees. It's not even Thanksgiving yet. We've jumped over Thanksgiving. We've jumped over Advent. We're now in Christmas. We're singing Christmas carols. All right, let's back up for a bit. I want to do this for you. If you can't beat them, join them, if you will. But I want to do something that can kind of be a canopy for you in your ministry and mission that is both a happy Thanksgiving, a blessed Advent, and a Merry Christmas. So I want to give you something that I believe is the heart of Christmas. It is the essence of the Christmas promise. And it's the mattering of matter. And I call it the Manger Manifesto. Now, when you say bye to somebody, you wave your hand, you say, take care. Or then you say to somebody who's really needing you at that moment, I care. Or you can say more intimately, I love you. But whatever phrase you use, you're saying these 4 words, you matter to me. You matter to me. And you matter to me. In many ways, this is a Thanksgiving gift to say thank you because you matter to me. The incarnation blesses matter. It's all about matter. The Word became flesh. I say spirit matters. The whole story of the universe is spirit seeking out material form, seeking out, wanting to become flesh, wanting to become matter. The whole universe is this story of spirit wanting to become matter. God created matter. God said, let there be light, and then matter came. And God communicates through matter. Now, God created not just matter, but God created space and the forces between space and matter. Matter tells space how to curve. That's what gravity is. And space tells matter how to move. We learned that from Einstein. MEST, M-E-S-T, is an acronym for the basic components, the fundamental building blocks of the universe: matter, energy, space, time. But for people in the Jewish Christian tradition, we add an S to that, so it's MES, because there's a 5th core component to the whole of the universe, and that is spirit. Matter, energy, space, time, spirit. And the spirit is what forms and fashions and moves forward that MEST. To say, I matter, is to plant a seed. To declare you matter is to nurture a garden. Let me say that again. To say I matter is to plant a seed. To say you matter is to plant a garden. And to proclaim lives matter. Black lives matter. Muslim lives matter. Blue lives matter. Disabled lives matter. We could go on and on. Is to protect essential roots of our shared humanity in this garden, on this garden planet, in this garden galaxy called the Milky Way. Yet these truths, while true, are but the foundation of a larger truth. And it's not just a larger truth, it's the whole truth. And the whole truth is your and my calling. The static nature of matter, like a stone declaring its weight in the universe, must give way to the dynamic force of mattering. For to matter is to simply be. But to be mattering is to become. Matter is being, mattering is becoming. It's the difference between a star's existence and the light it scatters across the galaxy. Mattering carries within it the pulse of purpose, the rhythm of impact, the dance of meaningful action. It transforms the noun of worth into the verb of legacy. And when we shift from I matter to, you ready? I'm mattering, we move from claiming our space to actively shaping our space, from asserting our value to creating value, from standing our ground to breaking new ground. And this is the essence of the human journey, not merely to occupy space or occupy our place in the universe, but to send ripples, to make waves in this world. Not simply to be counted, but to make every moment count. Not just to matter, but to be mattering continuously, creatively, courageously. For in mattering, we find not just our worth, but our mission in life. Not just our significance, but our calling, our vocation. Not just our place in the story, but the point and the power of the story itself. And the Christmas story is the ultimate declaration, God's declaration. You matter. It's God's profound statement to humanity through the incarnation. You matter. You matter to me. I created you because you matter to me. When the Word became flesh, when spirit matters, it wasn't just a spiritual concept becoming material. It was divine love taking the radical step of entering our material reality in its most vulnerable form, a baby born in a manger. So the divine, I care, take care, echoed throughout the cosmos as angels announced this birth to shepherds, society's overlooked members, still echoes today. Their lives matter, these shepherds, enough for heaven to burst open with good news to the lowest and the least. The Magi's journey shows us that all cultures, all seekers, all hiders matter. Their wisdom and gifts were welcomed at the manger and at, later on, where they found the baby Jesus. Like stars sending their light across galaxies, the light of Bethlehem's star wasn't just marking a location. It was actively guiding. It was illuminating. It was mattering across both space and time. And so this first Christmas transforms our understanding of mattering. And Mary's let it be, which I think is better translated, be it unto me. It wasn't just an acceptance of her worth. It was an active participation in bringing hope into the world. Not just let it be, but let it be me. Let me be it. Let me matter and be mattering. Be it unto me. Joseph's protection wasn't just acknowledging the child's importance. It was actively creating space for love to grow, mattering. The manger scene itself embodies this distinction between matter and mattering. The stable wasn't just occupying space. It was becoming a sanctuary. The swaddling clothes weren't just material. They were actively cradling divine love. Even the animals weren't just present. The donkey, the red heifer, the oxen, the sheep, they were sharing their warmth, participating in the greatest story of hospitality ever told. Now, the reason why I wanted to get to this to you early in these seasons of Thanksgiving, Advent, and Christmas is that we live in a world of antimatter. Just as physicists discovered that for every particle of matter there exists its opposite. It's called antimatter. We are too encountering forces in our world that seek to negate worth. You don't matter. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters. These are the dark antimatter messages that collide with human dignity, threaten to annihilate hope this year. The Christmas story arose in a world full of such antimatter messages. Roman Empire declaring that local lives didn't matter. Society telling a young unmarried woman she didn't matter. A home, we call it an inn, but it's really a home with a guest house that had no room, and telling this young couple that they didn't matter. Even Herod's later actions would scream that innocent children didn't matter. But here's the miracle. You ready? I love this. When matter meets antimatter in physics, there's an explosion of pure energy. And when God's declaration of mattering met the world's antimatter, madness, and messages, it didn't result in mutual destruction, or MAD, mutual assured destruction. Instead, the divine you matter proved more powerful than all the forces of negation. A baby's cry pierced the darkness. Light shone in the shadows. Love transformed a feeding trough into a cradle of revolution that changed the world, that saved the world. Today, we still live in a world where antimatter messages abound. Black lives don't matter. Refugees don't matter. The poor don't matter. The elderly don't matter. The weak and wounded don't matter. And these forces of negation manifest in policies, prejudices, and systemic inequities. They show up in discrimination and isolation and the cold arithmetic of who gets care, who doesn't get care. There's an increasing trend around the world of mind over matter. MIND is an acronym for medically induced natural death, MIND. And you have this mind over matter in increasing numbers of countries. We call them assisted suicides, but Belgium, Austria, Germany, Luxembourg, Netherlands, New Zealand, Portugal, Spain, Switzerland, even some states in the US have this, in Oregon, even the state where I live in, Washington, Canada. Canada has something they call it MAID, M-A-I-D, Medical Assistance in Dying, MAID. That Christmas reminds us that the ultimate power in the universe isn't destruction, but creation. Not antimatter, but mattering of matter. And when we declare you matter in the face of you don't matter, we insist on the worth of the overlooked and the undervalued, we participate in the same divine energy that turned a stable into a sanctuary and shepherds into evangelists. Like Mary's Magnificat proclaiming that God has filled the hungry with good things. Acts of mattering, feeding the hungry, welcoming the stranger, protecting the vulnerable, become antimatter's antidote. We don't fight antimatter with its own weapons. We transform it through the persistent, powerful energy of love and action. This Christmas, as forces of antimatter seem to gather strength in war zones, in divided communities, and broken relationships, even have the news today was somebody announced we're right at the beginning of World War III. That's as antimatter as you can get. We're called to remember that the first Christmas was God's response to all messages of you don't matter. Choosing to become matter, to enter our material reality, God forever sealed the truth that everyone and everything matters. not as an abstract principle out there, but as an active force changing the world, one manger, one person, one moment of mattering at a time. So when we celebrate Christmas, we're not just remembering that God values matter. We're doing something more. We're entering the ongoing action of mattering. Like the shepherds were called not just to receive the good news, but to spread it. Like the Magi, we're called not just to witness the light, but to follow it and to share our gifts. And so I leave you with this Manger Manifesto, the mattering of matter. Every week in Advent, and we're not to Advent yet. I've been doing this umbrella. But every week in Advent, I have a different Christmas candle that's scented that I light. And so I'm going to light, this is one of my favorites. This is the smell of Notre Dame Cathedral. And I'm going to light it and prophesy our way forward through Thanksgiving into Advent as we smell the cathedral where we remember the promise of Christmas, the heart of Christmas, the Manger Manifesto, God's mattering of matter, and God's call for you to not just say, I matter and you matter, but to say, I'm mattering and I love. And how can I help your mattering? The real Christmas story, the mattering of matter.